Graduands, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of UMIST, it gives me great pleasure to welcome you here today as we meet in this great hall to confer degrees on graduands from the departments of Biomolecular Sciences and of Chemistry. This is, as you know, an extra special occasion because in addition to the award of undergraduate degrees, we will be awarding an honorary degree of Master of Science to Mr. Ian Botham. It's a particular pleasure to welcome all partners, families and friends who have supported our graduands, many of whom have travelled long distances to join us on this day of celebration. I hope that during your visit to UMIST, you will have the chance to look around our university and have the opportunity to spend some time visiting the many fine buildings and countryside in and around this vibrant city of Manchester. To reach this threshold of graduation, all of our graduands will have had to overcome many challenges. Most obviously, there were the intellectual challenges of your degree courses. You have had to think hard and work hard. There were financial challenges. Today, students from all backgrounds are depending increasingly on contributions from families, on loans, and on income from employment. And we in the universities are increasingly concerned about the impact this may be having on their studies. And finally, there were the social challenges. Some of you have had to cope with the enormous challenge of coming from another country to live and study in Manchester. Others with the more modest but no less real change associated with venturing north of Watford or crossing to the wrong side of the Pennines. And all of you of having to fend for yourselves. In these challenges, you have been supported by very many people. Some of them are here today, your fellow students, representatives of the academic staff, but most of all, your families and friends. Some of you have come from far overseas to study here, as have your families to celebrate with you today. You in particular make a special contribution to the variety and richness of university life here on this campus and enable us to show to each other that there is more than one culture, that there is more than one way of life. We acknowledge the contribution of all of your supporters to see you make this transition from graduand to graduate. This great hall and the building in which we are today dates from 1902, exactly 100 years ago, when it was opened by the then Prime Minister, Arthur Balfour. He proclaimed it at the time as the outward and visible sign of the awakening which has come over the people. But UMIST's origins go back considerably further, to 1824, when a group of Manchester entrepreneurs met and decided to create the Manchester Mechanics Institution to meet the skill shortage caused by the world's first industrial revolution. Their purpose was clear: to promote the learning of scientific principles. But demonstrating the foresight that had already made them prosperous, they argued that it was also vital to link that learning to work. This still remains one of UMIST's basic objectives, and why a survey of UK employers to be published later this month will show that UMIST and Cambridge are the most highly regarded universities for the employability of their students, a record that has now been achieved over the past 5 years. UMIST's contribution and importance to the economic and social well-being of the United Kingdom and other countries worldwide has also recently been acknowledged by the Chancellor of the Exchequer. Speaking at UMIST last year, Gordon Brown said, "Founded early in the 19th century by the business community of Manchester, UMIST enters the 21st century a leading centre for scientific research, its links with business stronger than ever, promoting jobs and opportunities for the Northwest region and beyond." UMIST is very proud of the achievements of its students, and we take particular interest in their career and development. UMIST graduates can be found in all walks of life. They include Sir Terry Leahy, the Chief Executive of the UK's biggest employer, Tesco, and now Chancellor of UMIST. the Right Honourable Margaret Beckett MP, the Secretary of State for Food, Environment and Rural Affairs, and T. Chi Hen, Singapore's Minister of Education. And in the last few years, businesses such as Rolls-Royce, Kingfisher, Nissan UK, Balfour Beatty, BOC and Procter & Gamble have or have had UMIST graduates at their helm. Another of our graduates is the TV cook Sophie Grigson. This year she returned to UMIST to give a demonstration to students on how to cook on a shoestring. Her advice, by the way, did not include first buy a tin opener. Sophie graduated in the early 80s with a degree in mathematics, not in chemistry, so she not only knows her onions, but she can count them as well. This last decade has been a particularly successful period for UMIST, and this has been reflected in the number of prestigious awards won by this university. These include 3 Queen's Prizes for Higher Education, 2 Queen's Awards for Export Achievement, 2 Prince of Wales Award for Innovation, and the only ever Department and Trade and Industry Award for Technology Transfer. Last year, the research assessment exercise recorded that all of UMIST's academic departments were rated of national or international excellence for research, and 2/3 of our academic staff received an international excellence rating for the quality of their research. Chemistry is often called the central science because it shares a boundary with many other sciences. The term is also popular amongst chemists, of course, because it suggests how important their subject is. UMIST also believes that chemistry is important, and that's why we have invested in laboratory refurbishment in the Faraday Tower, where F-floor now looks more clinical than chemical. We have just appointed a new professor of bioanalytical chemistry with the Department of Instrumentation and Analytical Science. And this illustrates the strong recent developments in the area of life sciences at UMIST, which have culminated in the award of funds for a new building, the Manchester Interdisciplinary Biocentre. This building, which will cost close on £30 million, is being funded in part by the Wellcome Trust and will bring together biological and physical scientists in a unique and multidisciplinary way. It will be the culmination of a very significant investment and expansion in the life sciences here at UMIST. Our Department of Biomolecular Sciences has been at the heart of this expansion, and those of you graduating from BMS will have seen this expansion at first hand and perhaps experienced some of the growing pains of such developments. We are determined to ensure that we remain at the forefront of both teaching and research in this exciting and rapidly expanding field. So those of you graduating today are excellent examples of the sort of people we are proud to see as our graduates. You are just the sort of people a modern society needs in order to flourish, and you represent both the tradition and the future of UMIST. Not only have you contributed significantly to the success of UMIST, but in a world-class university of the highest standards, you have competed to obtain a place here, worked hard over a sustained period of 3 or 4 years, completed numerous assignments, examinations and projects, as well as managing finances and giving time to plan your future career. Your achievement deserves the highest recognition. But important as all this is, universities are about more than just the utilitarian preparation for a career. They are places where we can think and discuss freely and openly about all aspects of life, where we can debate and challenge views and opinions, where we can participate in activities totally outside the confines of department or degree programme. These are the activities that will have shaped your thinking and your life view as much as the subject of your degree. This is education in the round, well encapsulated by the quotation, "Education is what survives when all that you have learnt has been forgotten." Finally then, I would like to wish you all every success in your future careers and invite you to keep in touch with UMIST and with one another through the UMIST Association, the organisation of former students and staff at UMIST. As members, you will be invited to reunions and kept in contact with UMIST through our magazine. You will not escape us even if you come from overseas. Branches of the UMIST Association are found in many places around the world. Do keep in contact with us as well, and make sure that we have the correct address to correspond with you and visit us wherever possible. So, to parents and friends and supporters, thank you for coming to this special day. To graduates, congratulations on your success at UMIST, and thank you for your contribution to the life of this university. I hope very much that you have enjoyed your time here and that you will be happy and satisfied in whatever career and walk of life that you choose to follow. I'd now like to call on Professor Wetton to present the honorary graduate.
Ladies and gentlemen, Vice-Chancellor, it is my honest privilege to present as our honorary graduate today, Ian Botham, the most effective charity fundraiser in the UK. But before I begin, let me ask the parents of other graduates here today, where were you on November 22nd, 1963? I'll answer that question later and give you a reason for my asking it. Ian Botham has local connections in that he was born in Heswall, Cheshire in 1955. The family, and I'm very glad to welcome them here today, was soon on the move, as Les Botham, who unfortunately cannot be here today, was a serving member of the Fleet Air Arm. Ian eventually spent a major part of his childhood in Yeovil. His first encounter with a hospital came when he was 4. He required an operation for a hernia after suffering acute abdominal pain. His view of the medical profession was then summed up in what he told his mother. The doctors don't make you better. They just stand there at the end of the bed and say, "Good morning," and ask the nurses how you are. It is the nurses that do all the work. I think I'll be a doctor. Fortunately for the cause of leukemia research, this early ambition was not fulfilled, and I hope a more charitable view of clinicians has taken root. It cannot be said too clearly that haematology clinicians and researchers have the highest regard for Mr. Botham. So instead of being a doctor, Ian Botham became a cricketer, and a successful one. Making his Test debut in 1977, he played over 100 times for England, scored 5,200 runs, and took over 380 wickets. He was a Wisden Cricketer of the Year in 1978, and in 1992 he was awarded the OBE for services to cricket and his charity work. It is for his charity work that we honour him today. It was another visit to a hospital that brought Ian Botham to what he says is the most satisfying and worthwhile thing I have done in my life. In 1977, Botham visited a hospital in Taunton for treatment to a broken foot. This, he says, changed his life, in that he met children suffering from leukemia. In the beginning of their involvement with leukemia researchers and sufferers, the Bothams believed a peripheral involvement was sufficient. But the unique character that is Botham led him to propose to his wife a sponsored walk. His idea was John O'Groats to Land's End. It sounds so simple, but let's try and analyse this more fully. There is an enormous distance to cover. Obvious, yes. But it's the grinding mile after mile we need to try and concentrate on, day in, day out, in November. There is the logistical support required. There is the pain, the blisters. There is the income loss. Who here would give up 5 weeks of their time for a charitable cause? But it worked. It worked because Ian Botham has in his wife, Kath, an organiser who can devote as much as 12 months to developing a sponsored walk plan. And of course, the rest of the family helped too. It worked because Ian has a sense of conviction. He writes, "The last 5 miles of every stage are awful. Terrible. It is then that I remind myself what I am doing, why I am on this road. I think of the children I saw in the leukemia research unit, especially those boys playing Monopoly, and think to myself how normal they looked, perfect kids. Then the shattering experience of being told that none of them is going to be around for much longer. It worked because he is an extraordinary character who has empathy and dynamism. One facet of his unique nature is that he and his support team did it again and again and again. November 1985, John O'Groats to Land's End. June 1986, Channel Islands. April 1987, Belfast to Dublin. April 1988, Hannibal, over the Alps. October 1990, Aberdeen to Ipswich. September 1992, Land's End to Margate. September 1994, Liverpool to Yeovil. October 1999, Land's End to John O'Groats. April 2002, the Welsh Walk. A total of more than 4,000 miles. These are major feats showing true commitment. But we all know sponsorship is the key, and Ian Botham can raise £1,000 a mile. He can get the people of Bristol to put £40,000 into buckets by walking through their city. He can block Great Ormond Street with onlookers. In other words, he brings the money in directly, over £4 million to the Leukemia Research Fund. But just as importantly, Mr. Botham's motivation rubs off on others, encouraging them to raise funds for research too. He is an inspiration. Ian Botham can do so much because he has become an iconic figure around whom legends have grown. He can raise so much money because of his unique status, which has roots in his sporting qualities, and those qualities carry over into the determination that sees him through such challenging walks. So let's get back to the question I posed. Where were you on the 22nd of November 1963? I know exactly where I was, because it was the day President John Fitzgerald Kennedy was shot. It was a pivotal event even in the life of a 7-year-old. It is a terribly memorable day. There are not many events like that in a person's life where we can remember as if yesterday what we were doing and where we were. When we come to the 20th of July 1981, the question for most of us over 30 can again be answered. And in this answer lies another, an answer to the question, why is Ian Botham such a powerful and successful, indeed inspirational fundraiser? Following a defeat and a draw in the first 2 home tests of the Ashes series in 1981, the country was dolefully anticipating another Ashes series defeat. In the 3rd test at Headingley, with England following on and seemingly in a hopeless position, Ian Botham launched an astonishing counter-attack and hit an unbeaten 149 to set the stage for an England victory by 18 runs. One newspaper commented, "Over the course of a couple of July days, the order of the universe was set on its head. Last became first. Every valley was exalted, and the stars stopped in their courses to cheer." I've asked many of my colleagues and friends, where were you? Even non-cricket fans remembered. After more than 20 years, it was voted the most memorable sporting event ever. It is branded on the nation's psyche. And what that means is that the perpetrator of those momentous deeds on the 20th, 21st of July has a special place in our society. It makes him a household name. It makes him a legend. But that is not enough for us to invite Ian Botham here today. Even if he did stop the stars in their courses, that is not enough. The man has taken his status and not applied it to the comfortable after-dinner circuit, but the grueling torture of the road. 36 miles a day, day after day. By example and by fortitude, supported by his family, he has raised vast quantities of money. He has led the way for others to do the same. He has taken his empathy and his desire to give something back, as he puts it, and made himself, with these actions, in my eyes, twice the legendary figure that grew out of the summer of 1981. Vice-Chancellor, I present to you, on behalf of Academic Board and Council, Ian Botham for admission to UMIST as Master of Science, honoris causa.
I admit you to UMIST to the degree of Master of Science, honoris causa.
Ladies and gentlemen, Vice-Chancellor, I don't think I've been this nervous since the first time I played for England, and that's a long time ago. It's actually a lovely feeling. I'd forgotten how good it feels to have those butterflies in your stomach again. It is a great honour. It means an enormous amount to me. It's something I never expected. If you'd have seen my school reports, you'd know exactly why. Could try. If only he would try. Where was he? But just briefly, if I can just tell you how it all started. Kath and myself were actually doing one of my great hobbies when I get a chance to do it, and that's walking with the dogs over the hills, mountains, whatever. And we were walking at Ullswater, and I was involved in leukemia research, but in what I felt was a negative way, where we basically paid for the parties for the children that were dying, which I thought was not really the way to do it. What about going to the other end of the scale? And in a moment of madness, which I regretted for about 38 days, as I hiked from John O'Groats to Land's End, I said to Kath, well, let's do a sponsored walk. Now, instead of saying something logical, like from Manchester to Leeds, I went for John O'Groats to Land's End, and that's how it all started. But I'm the one that's standing here and receiving the award. And in all fairness, I have to say that without Kath and her support, and more importantly, her organisation, which I would never have managed, and 12 to 18 months it took for each of these walks to be put together. And then you have to get the authorities, the local authorities, the town councils, the police, you have to get all these people involved so that you can go and cause chaos on the roads of England by holding up traffic for hours on end. And that's how we basically rape and pillage the cars behind then. So we cause major hold-ups and then get the collecting buckets in through the windows and drag the money out. So, typecasting. But just to say very briefly, it is one of the great things that I really do mean it, and it gives me more satisfaction than anything else I've ever done in my life. A big thanks to Kath, to Douglas Osborne from Leukemia, who basically helped me and guided me and told me how to do it, and to Leukemia Research. And I know a lot of the money comes here, Tony and other people, and without the work that you guys put in up here and other research centres, we wouldn't have achieved what we've achieved. And the thing that's most satisfying for me was in 86, when I first started, 85, 86, there was a 20% chance of survival. Now, in 2002, there is a 80% chance of survival. And that is down to the work that the research has done. So I pledge that I will continue doing stupid things to raise lots of money, long walks, whatever. We'll keep on doing it until we beat the disease. So on behalf of my family and myself, it's an award for all of us, not just myself. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll now proceed to the award of degrees for the bachelor's degrees in the departments of biomolecular sciences and chemistry.
Principal and Vice-Chancellor, I present to you for the award of the degree of Bachelor of Science with honours in biochemistry, Helen Catherine Mason. Gillian Waring. Joanne Elizabeth Harper. Daniel Myatt. Olivia Carol Slater. Tracy Spencer. Jing Wang. Jonathan Christopher Clayton. Wendy Elizabeth Cooper. Shireen Dariani. Peter Smith. And for the award of the degree of Bachelor of Science with Honours in Biochemistry with Applied Molecular Biology, Kieran Michael Crean. Lindsay Jane Dalton. Colin David Frankland. Anusha Kugrathas. Stephen John Littler. Philip James Monaghan. Stephen James West. Jessica Claire Brinkley Wilshire. Hanad Dual. Elizabeth Ann Gaskell. Natalie Louise Green. Gillian Hosey. Siu Ha Lau. Neil Mimaduma. Hussein Salem. Daniel Peter Thornton. Kalpona Begum. Pedro Chan. Fedusi Hawk. Sabina Ershad. Jamie Joseph Johnson. Paresh Krishan. Charlotte Amber Reeves. Ian Stewart MacDonald. And for the award of the degree of Bachelor of Science with honours in Biochemistry with Biotechnology, Carl Fennessy. Jonathan Daniel Rapley. James Mark Gordon. Monika Sobanska. Olatan Torikoka. Graham Lawrence Rees. And for the award of the degree of Bachelor of Science with honours in Biochemistry with Clinical Biochemistry, Ruth Margaret Lloyd. Zorana Vujovic. Sarah Al-Izki. Uzma Asim. Zareen Bashir. Daniel Christopher Gilby. Catherine Emma Hall. Rebecca Louise Howard. Helen Louise Spencer. Mirza Tasnim Beg Chagtai. Robin Farraher. Ravi Iyer. Michael Thomas Pender. Catherine Louise Whitaker. And for the award of the degree of Bachelor of Science with honours in Biological Science, Charlotte Katie Chappell. Sarah Catherine Dyer. Emily Victoria Jesper. Christian Dominic Griffiths. Julia Elizabeth Killender. Christopher Philip Muster. Gillian Claire Perrins. Andrew Porter. Cressida Cicely Robotham. Yazin Tayyebji. Danielle Marie Waraxo. Edward William Arnold.
Principal and Vice-Chancellor, I present to you for the award of Master of Chemistry with honours in chemistry, Lee John Ball. Cheryl Fish. Graham Martin Jordan. Blake Prime. Nicholas Arthur Sr. William Thomas Stimson. Raymond Wong. Jill Alexandra Hughes. Scott Andrew Lighton. And for the award of the degree of Master of Chemistry with honours in chemistry with French, Barbara Harvey. Jane Louise Blundell. And for the award of the degree of Master of Chemistry in Chemistry with French, Saoirse Campbell Carson. and for the award of the degree of Master of Chemistry with honours in Chemistry with German, Samantha Del Louise White. And for the award of the degree of Master of Chemistry with honours in Chemistry with Industrial Placement, Scott Lee Cockcroft. Paul Andrew Rowlandson. Dominique Lila Bell. Howard Lewis Bullock. Raymond Jinman Chan. Charlotte Louise Priestnell. Virmal Baruth. Nicola Dawson. Adam Goldwater. Robert Michael Reed. And for the award of the degree of Bachelor of Science with honours in Chemistry, David Carey. Zubada Begum. Victoria Ann Bradley. Catherine Emily May Brimstead. Chin-Bing Chong. Selena Jean Cullen. Elizabeth Ayres. Robert Gladwin. Repa Begum. Martin Edward Brearley. Danielle Suzanne Buxton. Sunil Chauhan, Emma Louise Deans, Sally Dennison, James John Hoyland, Gregoire Lewis Jones, Helen Claire Morgan, Beatrice Nicolaidi, Gail Ann Poynton, Stephen H. Rice, Paul Richard Yates, Yinzu Yo, Wai Vanessa Chung, Philip Taylor, Ayesha Zia,
By virtue of the authority vested in me as Principal and Vice-Chancellor, I now confer degrees in absentia on those students unable to be present here today who have, under the conditions set out by ordinance or regulation, pursued the courses of study so prescribed and have satisfied the examiners. May this university, through sound learning and by the advancement of knowledge, achieve its purposes in the service of the nation and the world. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings our ceremony to an end. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy the rest of the day of celebration with these splendid graduates. And thank you for joining us on this celebration. Thank you very much.
outside rather than...
Okay, try that one again. Here we go, on 3. This way, nice and slow. 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay, take one more.
And straight at the camera.